I'm Roxanne Ciordia, and this is the PartyPoker.com European Open 3. Only 3 seats remain empty at our final table, and tonight, 6 more players take to the felt in a bid to move closer to the $125,000 top prize.
We've seen the best in the world gamble it up to reach this stage and be a part of that $360,000 prize pool. But now, there are 3 seats left at the final table, and who will join the 3 that are through in the race to become European champion?
This is our last semifinal. This time, 3 players will be taking their chip stacks with them to the final table. They have to have a balance between getting to the final table with a big chip stack and getting there at all. One man who knows how to play these semifinal stages is last year's winner, Ian Fraser. He joins Jesse May now.
Thanks, Roxanne. I'm here again, joined by last year's champion, Ian Fraser. And Ian, semifinal time again. As we know, it's just 3 that go through out of 6. They'll stop when we reach 3 and take those chips forward.
Yeah, that's correct, yeah. Let's just hope we get a semi like we did last week.
Let's look ahead to this week. 6 different players. There's no way that we're going to get the same kind of action, is there?
Well, you'd think not, but it's poker, Jesse. Every time we watch a game now, we see something different. So, and I know there's some exciting people in this for them at semi.
Yeah, I mean, perhaps the most interesting reputation or matchup is going to be Pippa Flanders versus Liam Flood. They've met before, and Pippa knocked Liam Flood out of the semifinal stages last time.
That's right, and there'll definitely be loads of needle there between these two. I haven't actually seen them play myself, but I've heard a lot about their games, and I know neither of them like to hang around.
Pippa's a flat-out tiger, but there are 5 other players besides Pippa at the table tonight. Let's see who's sitting down for this semi.
It's the pride of Bridge North, the chopper, Darren Daz Hickman. He calls himself Crapper, professional gambler Ian Cox, reigning World Open champion Pippa Flanders, Irishman Kaluki Don Fagan, the gentleman Liam Flood, and don't underestimate Londoner Lell Barrow.
These pro players have one more hurdle to jump before securing their seat in the final. Let's get over to the table and get these cards in the air.
6 will enter, only 3 will remain when this semifinal hits its roots, vying for those last 3 seats at the final table of this PartyPoker.com European Open 3. And here again, it's all winners tonight. Daz Hickman there, Ian Cox. Everybody came through some of the toughest heats you've seen. This high-quality field, and if this is anything like last week, put your belt buckles on. This will be filled with gumshoes and bootstraps. The only thing you'll know is putting the chips in means nothing at all except a willingness to gamble. 2 Irishmen at the end of the table there. Don Fagan and Liam Flood, the gentleman. Perhaps this favorite right now. Chips starting like the others, each player getting 100,000 in starting stack. Yellows are worth 1,000, the blues are 2, the reds are worth 5,000. There's 600,000 chips on this table, but of course, when we get to 3, they'll stop, go forward to the final, and combine with the other semifinal to make a 1.2 million chips in play stack for that final table.
Oh yeah. I'm going a bit.
Jesse May here with the Razor, Ian Fraser, last year's champion. And Ian, my heart is still pounding from last week's semifinal. I mean, do we have the same thing in store here tonight?
Oh, let's hope so, Jesse. I mean, that was absolutely fantastic, the first couple of levels of the last semi. I can't see this one living up to the same. I was talking to a few of these earlier, Jesse, and they was all sort of the same opinion of sitting back for the first level. But then again, it's poker.
That's what they said, didn't they? I mean, last week they said that too, and the only explanation I found for last week's play is that people just thought there was an opportunity to make a huge stack, and everybody played very crazy.
That's right. Maybe they thought everyone was going to sit tight, so I'll make all the moves. But they all had the same game plan.
Raise.
There we go.
6,000 total.
Well, this
10
is-
jack, second to act.
It's exactly where Liam left off in his heat. Pretty much, if it's up to Liam and it's an unraised pot, he is raising.
Pass.
And,
Yeah, I missed that heat. It's the first time I've actually going to see Liam play, so looking forward to this.
players would know he's won this first pot. I mean, one thing about Liam, he's been around years and years, and he has had some big results, especially on TV, but never that big television title.
All right, we're down to 2 semifinals. What do you want to do? Well, first of all, you're going to be bringing your chips with you. So the final 3 players are going to advance. 3 aren't. So to me, you have to be one of those final 3 players, even if you're a bit short. So I would play a very patient game. I would play a bit of a waiting game. Now, if you have a bunch of passive players, then you can be aggressive and pick up a lot of small pots. But if it's a bunch of super aggressive players, they may force you to play a big pot when you have a big hand, which is good, or you may have to just sit on your hands for a while and come in with a short stack. That's okay. You have to play a passive style against a bunch of super aggressive guys. You have to make sure you make the final 3 or you lose with a big hand.
Ain't that just like Phil? If you're gonna go out, make sure everybody's talking about it. And you can find out more on all things poker by logging onto our website,
Pass.
www.5.tv/poker. There's everything you need to know on Hold'em and the European Open
Pass.
3. You can also download exclusive video tutorials with the stars of the game, giving you their tips on how to succeed in poker.
Call.
This Coxey's come in with a call. I
Call.
like his game as well.
No raise.
He doesn't make too many mistakes, Ian Cox, does
No,
he?
but he, you know, if he makes his mind up to get him in, he does, Jesse, as well. I think he's got a good game.
So it's a 4-way flop for free, and a couple of people have made a pair here.
Yeah, and I should imagine both of these will probably think they're in front.
Small blind, big blind. Pippa's out kicked. Is this the kind of bet you make when
6,000.
you're not willing to take any heat?
Yeah, obviously you don't want to see any overcards at all.
Pass.
I think we might be getting a raise here from Coxey.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah,
Ackard, a crapper.
he's on the button here. Lell Barrow, little does he know the queen would make him a real troubled hand.
Coming down.
Can't see him calling that,
Pass.
Jesse. I don't know what that was about. See if he flat calls or.
Call.
Your percentage record of predicting Lascelles' moves a couple of weeks ago, both of ours were pretty low. He's stuff getting inside his head. Why has Ian chosen just to call here?
Well, again, it's early on, Jesse. You know, if he raises and then Pippa comes over the top, what does he do? You got to throw it away, haven't you? So he'd be hoping to obviously hit a queen, or definitely don't want to see a spade
So just
or a big card.
I think Pippa will be looking for an 8, or a spade here, which would give her lots of outs. I wonder if she'll fire it. Ooh, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's a nice card.
She's got up and down straight draw now, although
She'll bet it again now. Whereas I think without the 9, she might have checked.
check.
Oh, there you go.
this is a good signal to Cox that his hand is good, isn't
12,000.
it?
This could, from what I've heard of Pippa's game, this could be a raise here.
Called.
Well, we'll get something right in a minute, Jesse.
Yeah, she's decided to call. I think both these guys are kind of dancing on eggshells a little bit here, aren't they? And that's real trouble for Pippa,
Check.
because if Ian didn't like his hand on the turn, he sure likes it now.
Yeah, well, whatever he bets here, I just think again.
12,000. All in.
You
Raised. All in.
see what I mean? But if you're not expecting to put all your chips in, then you should have just checked. So
Pippa Flanders has gone all in. Ian Cox has the winning hand right now, but will have to risk going out of this semifinal if he wants to come through. And there's little of a subplot here, Ian.
I think he'll call, Jesse.
The subplot is the last time Ian played in a televised tournament, he won his heat and got knocked out first in the semifinal.
I still think he'll call here. You know, if he thinks about this, you know, what can he do? The best hand he can put Pippa on is the same as what he's got. If he thinks he's out-kicked. The time for her to raise, I think, was on the turn myself. But she's showing some classy play here.
Well, it would have been insane, really, for Pippa to have check-called 2-pair or set on the turn, wouldn't it have?
Yeah.
With all those draws out there.
Yeah.
I mean, she has to be bluffing here, he might think.
Well, I'll put her on the 10.
Cox will have some thinking about it, but you think he's good enough to backtrack here?
Well, you know, once he makes the bet on the river, he's got to be looking. Think to yourself before you make the bet. Well, if she comes over the top, what am I going to do? And if he thinks he's going to pass, then don't make the bet.
We have seen Pippa Flanders play a fine edge before, but
he's played the 10 very passively. He's going to put it down.
Oh my gosh!
10 deuce.
He played it too passively, didn't he? Really, that's unbelievable.
At the end of the day, Ian, he's just kind of underestimated Pippa at the end there, hasn't he? On the river, it seems like he's underestimated the first that she wouldn't raise him all in, and secondly that she wasn't capable of making a bluff.
Well, I think if he played his own hand more aggressively, there would have been a different outcome.
Breaking the living daylight out of any tip.
Pippa Flanders has been showing the boys how it's done. She recently scooped $200,000 and the World Open title, one of the biggest ever wins for a female in Europe. Now everyone knows her name.
No one can predict what will happen tonight as our players compete for a seat at the final. We'll find out who's in and who's out after the break. Welcome back to the PartyPoker.com European Open 3. The first 3 finalists have made it through. Who will be joining them to compete for the $125,000 top prize? Ian Cox has been badly hit by Pippa's lucky donkey. Can he recover? We'll see. Let's get back to the action.
You can see Ian Cox sitting there. He's nearly frozen. Obviously, the wheels are turning. In hindsight, do you think he's going to start wishing he would have called? Or do you think he thinks he made the right move?
He hasn't got a clue, has he? He hasn't got a clue. He'll be the sickest man around the table if he goes out. I know that when he re-watches.
Pass. Pass.
Daz Hickman has limped in here with the small pocket pair. And one thing we learned about Daz Hickman in his heat is that he has that table image of a very slow, tight player, but he sort of explodes with these big moves at times too.
Just thinking back to that last hand, Jesse, if he did go into it, you know, think about it, he can't put her on the straight, can he?
I don't
because
see how. I mean,
she would have milked him for a few more chips instead of the all-in. So if you do think about it that way, he can't put her on a straight. He said, I think he said 10 deuce, but again, he can't.
She would have raised on the turn for sure.
Well, would have raised on the turn with once a 9 comes. But then again, you wouldn't have been all in there. You would have put a small raise in, hoping to get called.
Lell Barrow has flopped 3 10s here, and it is Daz Hickman who's taken a stab at the pot for 6,000. From what we know of Lell, does he like to fast play these type of hands?
Well, every time we've been guessing in his heat, Jesse, we kept guessing how he's going to play, and he just plays completely different each hand. So I'll leave the guessing to you here, I think.
Well, I'd kind of say that he hasn't made up his mind yet. He's decided to raise it, and
12,000 more, 18 total.
this is going to test what Daz Hickman knows about Lell, because if Lell's raising on a flush draw or 3, perhaps Daz would have the best hand still.
Yeah.
Kind of automatic fold, you think?
Yeah, 100%.
Re-raise.
He's done it completely right, ain't he?
5 more. Re-raised, all in.
Too quick, he'd never get a call now.
Yeah, it does seem kind of like the first bet Daz made was just mandatory. The second raise he made was a question. Now he's gotten a strong answer. And he'd have to be very stubborn to call.
Oh, he's got a fold. He's got to fold.
I mean, Daz would be.
You know, you'd like to put the other player on a 3. Then the next thing you'd like to put them on 2 clubs, and even if you do that, you know you're going to be up against 2 overcards.
I would imagine Daz fancies his game enough to play himself out of off a 60,000 stack anyway. I mean,
Yeah, is that what he's going to have left? 55,000 he'll
like-
have left after
yeah.
this if he passes. Well, this has been exciting as well, Jesse, ain't it?
It's amazing.
5 hands in.
You know, it's almost like the suspicion that these guys, we saw it last week, I think people psych themselves out a little bit, thinking people are more liable to make a move on them in this type of format.
Yeah,
and they just they feel like they have to make a move because everybody else is making moves.
Exactly right. They think that everyone's at it.
It's funny how the rules of poker go out the window. But Daz is spending a lot of time thinking about, I mean, in all fairness, Ian, thinking about a hand that,
Can't call, can he?
you know, I mean, if he does call and see the 10 jack, he's going to say, "Oh, of course." Yeah, I mean,
He's had 2 goes at it, to be fair to him. Then he's re-raised again. So he's fired another shot into it, and the guy's just come straight back over the top as quick as lightning. You know, he just cannot call.
if he was watching Lascelles' heat, he will be aware that Lascelles played very fast, obviously, in the first level or two, but you know, sticking it all in a flush draw, it just really wasn't Lascelles' MO,
No,
was it?
no, it wasn't.
Pass.
At the end of the day, do you think maybe Daz just wanted to make Lascelles sweat a little bit to make it
Well,
just
I
for
think
later on?
even looking at him now, I think he was seriously thinking about calling. I mean, you can't, but it's a lot of chips to leave behind, Jesse, after 5 hands. But you just got to do it. Wipe your mouth and get on with it.
So Lell Barrow taking the chip lead, 144,000. This heat started off kind of slow, and then the last 2 hands have just been ultra aggressive. Capital U.
Pass.
Liam looks like he's getting bored. He wants to play an hand, don't he?
You can hear
2
him.
nice cards here from Barrow.
You can hear Liam humming. Ken Leonard said the other day he was practicing for a job as being working in an elevator. Elevator music.
Pass.
Oh, another monster, Pippa.
Out of the small blind with 2 limpers already, is this dangerous for her to raise or kind of mandatory?
You'd want to pump this up a bit and see what's what, wouldn't you?
Raise to 8,000 total. Pass.
Is this raise designed, do you think, to get 2 callers or maybe just 1? Or
Well, you just want to pump the pot up a little bit, you know. With Ace King, it's a lovely hand.
6,000 more, she made it.
Again, there's only, you know, even if you get re-raised, there's only 2 pairs you're worried about, you know, really, and that's the Kings and Aces.
Barrow has a much nicer hand to take on Pippa than Hickman, as his
Pass.
king is dead. And flop coming now. Live cards out.
Wow.
Daz Hickman might
It's a shame there's 3 diamonds there.
top pair for Pippa,
6,000.
middle pair for Lascelles.
It's only a small bet. You know, he might fancy calling this.
Call.
We have seen from Lascelles that he's willing to pay people off if they make it attractive enough, but a diamond will slow it down, won't it?
Yeah, it will, yeah. This might be a check.
Check.
32,000 in there. Barrow says, give us another one. Diamond would split this pot right now, though. Pippa leading with the 2 kings. Big black deuce. What's the right play for Pippa right now?
Well, I would check it again. Jesse, because whatever you put in, if someone else, if he's got a diamond, he's going to be raising it. You know, and then what do you do?
I wonder if
he's already checked it back to you. So,
yeah.
you know, she's got top pair.
But Pippa bet and Lell could not call, and in the end, she's taken this pot down, and is a clear chip leader here early on. Her and the donkey.
No.
Yeah, 153 already.
So, one of the players was fooling with her donkey before, and she said, "Don't grab my ass."
I noticed that a lot of people start off their conversation A by saying hello Pippa when I've absolutely no idea who they are, and B by saying I've seen you playing, I know how you play, which is a bit off-putting really, because yes, they know how I play in a TV tournament, but it's not the same way that I play in an ordinary tournament.
Pippa's really made her mark on the poker scene, but she started playing the game to spend more time with her husband, Tim.
If it wasn't for Tim, I wouldn't play it at all, because I only started playing so I could join in. Tim wanted something to stretch his mind a bit, and he started playing poker and he enjoyed it. And I found that I spent a lot of time in bed waiting for the tournament he was in to end and then to come home, and I thought, well, I can carry on doing this and that's grand, and I could get through an awful lot of wine whilst I'm waiting for him, or I could actually learn what it's all about and join in, and that's what I decided to do.
Pippa's really put women's poker on the map, something she's very proud of.
It is again an equal opportunity game to play, and there's no reason why women shouldn't be as successful in the game as men, and I would be very glad if people did say that something that I had done had decided them to start playing.
That incredible $200,000 win in the World Open has really fueled Pippa's ambitions in the game.
I want to win all of them. I'd like to be crowned Queen of Poker, please.
I was speaking to Pippa's husband in the green room, Jesse, and he said that's one of Pippa's faults. She can be a bit stubborn. But I said, well, she's allowed to be because she's a lady.
Raise 6,000 total.
Liam, he sat quiet for about the first 9 hands, and now he's up to his old tricks again. This is his second raise in a row pre-flop. 10 jack. And he's gotten cold called by Lell on the button with 2 overcards.
Call.
Everybody, if it comes anything over a 7, someone's going to make a pair. Unless it comes at 9.
Check. Check.
Are you surprised Liam didn't bet that?
Yeah,
Check.
I am, as it happens. I mean, you know, he's made the action, got a low flop and checked it up.
8,000.
So he won't let it get checked round twice.
Flood has the worst hand of the 3, but with the initiative and the straight draw backing him up, I think he's liable to take it here.
You're not going to draw me into this, Jesse. I keep telling you. He's going to pass, ain't he?
Yeah, what?
He's going to pass. Every time I say he's going to do, say he does the opposite. I'm sure he can hear us.
Lell had a good opportunity on the flop to try and represent something.
Yeah, he's going to pass.
Pass.
I can't see him playing either. Coxey, you know, he must feel like someone's hit him on the head in the night and nicked his pocket money. So
yeah, he's still gathering his feet back under him, isn't he? The gentleman, Liam Flood.
And that'll make him feel good, Jesse, won't it?
Well, he doesn't have the look of a man who's just stealing everything that's not nailed down with that serious face, but he's a born thief at the poker table. Irishman Liam Flood was a superstar in this game before they even had TVs, but now he's made a big name in this format as well, but still chasing that huge TV title. There is a general feeling by me right here that Liam may be the man to beat right now.
Well, he's got himself up now with the other two, and he is the top three chip leaders now, 1-4, 1-130, 134. So they're all up there together now.
He's dictating this table action, isn't he?
Yeah, he started to.
And we've seen Pippa limp in. We've seen her raise.
Pass.
Probably
Pass.
could have made an argument for any of three things with that hand.
Not all that good
Pass.
under the gun, really.
Pass. Call.
And the two guys who can't buy a break so far, Daz and Cox in the big blinds.
Raise 8 more, 12 in total.
He might be going all in. Yeah, I thought so.
All in.
I thought so.
Wow.
And he, Cox, he must be thinking.
Count it
He's
down
made
says,
two.
yeah.
He's made 2 bets, and
Boy, it's like Cox has a bit of a star on his head here.
it's always
Bullseye.
It's not always good value raising a short stack, Jesse, if you ain't got a nut
3-2.
hand, because they're always likely to push you all in.
Yeah, Cox is going to have to just make a big decision about this. I kind of felt like that Cox would have just knuckled this a lot of times, but being that he has a short stack, felt like he had to try and take it right there.
Yeah.
Maybe Hickman's picked up on that.
Yeah.
Or
Well, I think he's just making a stand with 6-7. You know, he knows he's probably got half a chance of putting him off the hand as well. So
Wow.
he's giving it a spin with his 6-7.
Ian is going to feel quite righteous about the call right now, and Daz Hickman all in.
Yeah.
And what do you think the final factor was there about Ian Cox calling?
Well, just still probably got the ump over the 3-10s, Jesse. But you know, he's got ace-8. He's still got well, he ain't really got 16,000 left behind if he loses this.
He's got trouble now because Daz Hickman has just stuck his head in it and come up smiling so far with the 6. It has to be an ace or 8 now. This will be brutal for Cox. He was 2-1 favorite when he called, and now he's
he's down to 16,000.
He's down to thinking it's just not his day.
Yeah, people seem to make plays at the right time against me. They always seem to hit. Yeah. The way it goes.
Not very lucky, says Ian Cox. I never have been. Trying to get over a bad beat? Take advice from Phil Hellmuth.
Well, when I have a bad beat, I handle it really well. Yeah, right. I go a little bit crazy. What the heck just happened there? But you know what? When I'm really on top of my game, when it's really important, I'm then going to count my chips down. How many chips do I have left? Yes, I'm still in here. Okay, try to stay focused. Try to forget what just happened. Look at your next hand. Study it a little extra long. Maybe count back from 10. Get yourself back in the game. Because you know what? This is an opportunity for you to have a bad beat and still win.
Not the leaderboard. What do you have to say about that? That's poker.
Well, yeah, he'll feel really, you know, he'll feel worse once he sees this come. Well, once he gets in the green room and they tell him what the hand was with Pippa. But yeah,
Ian Cox, yeah, he's having a day like Dave Gregory had last week. Is what he's having.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, I remember that. I think it won't be too long before you see this 16 go in, Jesse. He's got to have the right ump now.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see him still at the table. A lot of guys would just walk away here and say, "Mail me my check, please." Let me know how I did. Jeez, poor Ian Cox. The leap from online gambler to live poker player is large, but Cox is a deft hand.
Texas Hold'em in particular is a game that you can learn in 5 to 10 minutes. The rules are pretty basic, you know, much the same as playing chess or whatever, but to master the strategy and to learn, you know, because every situation is different and new, even though you might have the same cards. It takes a lifetime to master. I'm still improving, and I will carry on improving. Well, someone said to me earlier in the year, you know, you're always the bridesmaid, never the bride, because as far as playing poker live, I've only been playing less than 2 years now, just over a year and a half. I was always an online player before, and I've won plenty of titles and tournaments online, but I haven't won a live tournament yet, but I've had 2 second places in European ranked events this year. So I'm still waiting to get my hands on my first trophy to take home. And the trophy means more to me than money, in actual fact.
Ian's got the passion and desire to win, but is that enough?
I think it's 30% skill and 70% luck, because it doesn't matter how skillful you are, you know, I say the cards have to run right. And poker players, you know, you read it on the internet forums all the time, you hear stories of every tournament you go, you know, people are fed up with bad beat stories, because they are a part of poker. That is unfortunately something you have no control over. You have control over the way you play a hand and using your skills, but you have no control over the way the cards fall. And the odds might be X or Y for something to happen, but sometimes the cards just defy the odds.
Don't assume who will go through. There's 6 and it's only 3 gonna be at that final table. It won't be laughs when it gets more serious.
Welcome back to the PartyPoker.com European Open 3. The first 3 finalists have made it through, but who will be joining them to compete for the $125,000 top prize? Ian Cox has been badly hit by Pippa's lucky donkey. Can he recover? Let's get back to the action.
Did we see someone come back from 14,000, I think, in one of these heats?
Don Fagan came
Don's
back from 22 in his heat.
That's the nicest hand he's picked up.
Rose to 10 in total.
Under the gun, 10,000.
And will the players
Pass.
respect the fact that
Pass.
Don has only raised 1 hand
Pass.
today?
Let's see what he picks up. King 10.
Well, he's got 2,000 in here, Ian, and 14,000 back. He'd get a free round if he folds.
I think he probably will fold, but no, yeah,
All in.
give it a go. But the only reason I was going to say is because Don hasn't played an hand yet. They're 20 hands in. He hasn't played 1 hand, and he's got to get past Pippa as well.
I knew you were going to do that.
6. Value in there is a bit of money.
Yeah, I knew you were going to do that. I'm quite happy.
I get half a hand.
Yeah.
I've got half a hand.
That's pretty much the story.
I feel like it's good.
And
My only worry was you had ace king.
Cox is 6-4 against. I think he's just pretty much got his mind made up. He doesn't feel like sitting there without any chips.
No, that's right.
Can't say I blame him. To be honest with you, you can only take so much in one day.
Terrible feeling. It's
Yeah.
a terrible feeling.
There's always another. And not a terrible flop there for Ian Cox. Now the queen helps
Took
him.
took the queen away.
8 diamonds.
10, queen, or king for the outdraw.
Well,
That's really difficult.
he's still got the queen, and he's got a spade now.
Yeah. A couple outs. 3 to 1 against.
Oh, he's hit the spade.
I know. Yeah.
Wow.
Unlucky.
And
I had to go. You know,
I just wonder if sometime Ian Cox,
I was looking at half a hand and I was in there.
the thing that'll make him feel the best is that he came from behind to win this
Yeah,
hand.
sure.
It might sound sick, but that's how poker
Yeah.
players think. Now he's dogged someone at the table. Ian Cox all in and trailing. When Fagan hit the ace on the turn, Cox had to make a straight or a flush. He made the flush. Ace king high beating ace queen high and making Ian Cox dangerous like a trapped lion.
You want to get lucky? Here's the difference. The top poker players in the world get lucky, they find a way to win the tournament. An amateur gets lucky, he finishes in 5th place anyway. So the question is, what do you do after you get lucky? You have to work on your game, you have to be able to finish the tournament. Because with some people, no matter how lucky they are, they can't win the tournament. And with other people, they can be super unlucky and still win the tournament.
You know, the shorter your stack, the more impossible it becomes to actually make a mistake. I mean, you know.
Nice hand here under the gun. They keep picking these up under the gun, don't they?
A limp from Lell. A trappy sort of limp.
Oh, nice hand here. Darren. He ain't played a pot for a little while. He might fancy playing this.
You know, I feel like even though Daz is sitting back there, he's been a little. Oh, that's good.
Pass.
It's maturity, because I felt like he was a little impatient.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he's got 88 anyhow. I fancy if he was on the 60 mark, he might
Pass.
have pushed.
Pass. Call.
It's a limper in the blinds if flood is agreeable. And hello.
I think he'd be pumping this up.
Yes.
Has Barrow limped to re-raise?
Raise 13 more.
He's got every right to think his cards are good, hasn't he?
I never know, but
The bet was 13 more.
you know, you talk about Lell and the over bets. I wouldn't have been surprised to see him just say have said all in there. So
Another one, is it?
perhaps he respects the gentleman's game.
Yeah, yeah, obviously. Like I say, he's got every reason to think his ace queen's in front.
Should it come the ace, you can only imagine trouble. This probably slow the pot down a bit.
He don't hang around, Leon, does he?
14.
No,
Straight away. I wonder if when he does actually hit the flop, if he takes any longer peeling his chips off, because he just grabs them straight away, don't he?
Poor Daz has probably got his head in his hands right now.
Yeah, Hickman wished he'd have called off a flop there with his pair of fives.
Liam doesn't waste any time. He is in a very precipitous position. He cannot stand any heat, really. He can't even stand a call.
Yeah. He's thrown them away. Yeah. And he would have, I fancy he'd have got a few chips there, Darren, if he'd have played, wouldn't he? Because he'd have definitely got a bet out of Liam.
Thank you, Sam.
But that's Liam's game. He loves to lead from the front. He's an institution in poker.
A late friend of mine, Terry Rogers, he was a bookmaker in Ireland, discovered Nolan Texas Hold'em in America and brought it back to Ireland. And we started playing then. The first Irish Open was in 1984, and I think there was 27 players, and that included some English. So for about 10 years, you know, it was hard graft.
It was a love for the game that got him started, but success was soon to follow.
It would have started in 1984. I won the big tournament in the Isle of Man. There was 32 players, and I was the assistant tournament director, and I said to Terry Rogers, I said, Terry, I should play. Now, I couldn't afford it, but I said, get a few of your pals in and put me in. So they did, and lucky enough I won that tournament. That was a big feather in my cap.
Liam's biggest win to date, probably the runner-up finish in the World Open, but the gentleman also well known on the other side of the table, running some of the biggest tournaments in the world.
It lets you understand both aspects of the game, and that is running it, make sure it's run properly, and playing it, and being of the right attitude to play it, not to be giving grief to the people who are working, such as the dealers or the tournament director. Well, I think people respect me as a player because my results are fairly good. But they would treat me differently because they know that I know the rules. And I think from that point of view, they respect me as well.
Would you like to jet off to Las Vegas to play poker at the Bellagio, shop at Caesar's Palace, and overlook the city from the stratosphere? You could win a holiday to this amazing city, including flights and accommodations for two, and £500 spending money. All you have to do is answer this question. Who won the World Series of Poker in 2006? A. Phil Hellmuth, B. Jamie Gold, or C. Gus Hansen? You can enter by going to www.5.tv/poker. Entrants must be over 18. Competition closes at midnight on the 22nd of May.
Last week in the first semifinal, this stage of the game had the action nearly over, but you know,
Yeah, two players were already gone, Jesse, by now. It was complete firework night.
And this play has been no less impressive. It's just a bit different strategically, I guess.
Small pair for Lell.
Pass.
Yeah, he's picked up a nice hand again now, ace 10. You want to play this?
This will be 3 on the trot for Daz.
Raise to 18,000
Straight
total.
triple the bet to 18,000. And that's nothing.
Pass.
It'll be 15,000 on Pippa.
Pass.
And 12 on Don Fagan, who's having a good hard. Ooh.
I think the way he's been playing, he won't be calling this.
No, I think he's thinking of the ladder. That third option, the third wheel. The all in. Probably a bit too early though, isn't it?
I don't think so. I know the other guys, yeah, see, he throw it away. I know the other guys, that's his third pot on the trot he's raised, but the way Don's been playing, it don't make me think he's going to be pushing his chips in there, even a call with a pair of 5s.
This tournament is all about the money. We go over to Roxanne to find out how the prize pool will be broken down.
In each semifinal, the 6th place finisher will receive $5,000. 5th earns you $7,500, and 4th in the semifinal wins $10,000. When you get down to 3 in the semifinal matches, the players take their chips through to the final table. So at that final table, it's a staggered chip start. Out in 6th, and you'll win $20,000. 5th place is $25,000. 4th, and you'll take home $30,000. For 3rd place, it's $50,000. Our runner-up wins $65,000, and the PartyPoker.com European Open 3 champion will be pocketing a cool $125,000.
Pass.
3 and 6 are the blinds. 6 are the sections of this table right now.
You're going to raise it again? No, they won't believe it. That's it. There you go, Coxie's just said to him, I'd have had you then. No, and he's picked up a nice couple of cards here. I think these will be going in.
Yeah, 23,000
Raised all in.
to the center.
Pass.
Well, and Don's got ace 10. I think he'd be calling this, Jesse, definitely.
Well, the only pot Don's played today is an all-in with Ian, and he got dogged.
And if he does, Coxie won't mind again. He's got 2 live cards against him.
Yeah, this is... And here again from the small blind...
Donald, where's your trousers?
It's Fagan...
Donald, where's your trousers?
Fagan choosing to call, not to isolate. It's had the same effect.
He'd be pleased to see this, Ian.
Yeah, I mean, Fagan would have loved looking at a lower ace.
Yeah.
But...
2 flush draws this time.
Cox all in. And trailing now. Looking for the straight. And we're looking for one of 3 10s in the deck, really. We're running cards.
No 10s got past, did they? So they're all in there.
Hit your 10 if you like.
This could be the end for Ian Cox. He's been on the back foot since the burner.
Red 10.
And now only a 10 in the deck.
Yeah, unlucky he's out. Look at that, that's our first casualty.
Yeah, you look at that pot total, 52,000. Ian put himself in position to get a run at it at the end there. But he's out in 6th.
I would have beaten him.
Yeah. The crapper. I think in hindsight, Ian Fraser, once Ian Cox lost that pot to Pippa Flanders. So we'll look at the chip totals now. Pippa's in front, surprising.
Well, they was very close, the 2 of them, and I think just because Liam's lost his bit of blind there, they brought them back to levels.
You can find out more about poker by logging onto our website, www.5.tv/poker. Learn the rules, figure out the best hands to play, and test bluffing skills. You can also download video interviews with some of the game's best players.
1 seat open, and this table only big enough for 3 right now. Fagan has yet to have a hair out of place tonight.
Jack 9. He won't be playing that under the gun.
Right.
Raise.
What a surprise.
18,000 total. Pass.
He
Small
looks like he
blind.
likes these, whatever they are. There you go. Nice pair of tens.
He came over,
Yeah.
Liam, came over the top of Liam, this exact same position, didn't he?
did,
The
yeah.
last round with the king-queen suited, and Liam passed.
That'd be in Liam's mind as well, Jesse. It's funny how the old mind games work here tremendously.
Will it be in Daz's mind, I wonder? Because I fancy if he shoves all his chips in, Liam's going to have to call. No?
Oh, I don't know. It's not that. It's not that instant.
Right.
54,000.
Daz says, let's go
He
back
raised
to the well for more
54,000
water.
total.
And that's a nice big raise.
Pass.
It's 36,000 back on Liam, whose first question will probably be, how much do you have back?
You won't. Ace Jack's not a hand to feel confident with, Jesse, by any means. But he's probably got the needle because it's happened to him once before, and he's, you know, he's got no one else's blind he can raise from over there.
There hasn't been any table talk between these two. Liam just sort of head down here.
I'd rather throw this away and go again, but I'd show him the Ace Jack and say, you know, if I had 2 overs on you, then good luck, but I'm not going to do it again.
Oh, the clock has been called. Liam's hand is dead.
What?
The hand's dead.
Couldn't be.
He won't mind. He won't mind
He
now,
knows
I'm
this.
telling
I
you.
think he's wound up a little bit. Mad Marty Wilson, the tournament director, had called the clock on Liam Flood, and he did not act in the 30 seconds given him. His hand was dead. He did take quite a bit of time with that.
Yeah, and I'm sure he won't mind that, Jesse, because you don't want to be getting your chips in there with Ace Jack.
No.
You just got to forget about it. Well, we got another chip leader, Jesse. That's 3 we've had now.
Daz Hickman must just be feeling the confidence of ages right now.
We're down to 4 in this semifinal. The top 3 players will be taking their chips on to the final table. Join us after the break to see who makes it. I'm Roxanne Stiordia, and this is the PartyPoker.com European Open 3. The final is fast approaching, and with only 3 seats remaining, the pressure's mounting. We go back over to our commentators.
Daz is on the button right now, which will put Don Fagan in the big blind. It's been folded around.
Oh, he's got a small mind you. He's been frying these, and you can't keep riding your luck, Jesse. You've got to throw some of these hands away.
Well, he's chip leader on the button, isn't he?
And he's raising.
Raise. To 18,000 total.
You know, just because he's been playing so many pots, you'd almost think that you don't want to. Wow, there's a big hand now.
Yeah.
A couple of conkers.
And just spinning it back, Fagan folded pocket 5s to a similar raise from Daz earlier, but the kings.
I'd like to see a flat call here.
12 more.
12 to call.
If he does, it'll be so dangerous.
This king's a nice hand to flat call raise, Jesse, because you
Oh.
don't. It's getting you a cheap flop, because the last thing you want to be doing is playing when there's an ace on board. And if you've invested loads of chips into the pot and an ace comes, you still don't want to put the hand down. But if you only put a few chips in, ace comes on the
Check.
flop, you don't mind chucking the kings away.
Daz
He's
having a
checked it up
long look
anyway.
at Daz having a
Check.
long look over at Don.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's checked it. Free card for Hickman. He would have had to fold this on the flop if he had stuck any money in.
Well, Hickman's got to be thinking, he's re-raised me, and now he's checked, he's got to be all over the flop. You know, again, looking at it logically. And now he's coming out betting, he's got to know he's all over the flop.
14.
14,000.
You know, I guess there's a couple ways for Daz to think about it. I mean, he could say, I haven't gotten these chips. Well, I mean, not thinking about the hand, but his chip position. I haven't gotten all these chips to stick them in a pot against the tightest player at the table. I mean,
Some mixed saves.
I had a pair.
Did you?
I had a pair in the arm.
Now he's turned them over.
that's the first time
Bad
Don's
flop for
showed a
flop.
hand.
He's played ace
It's a
queen,
bad flop for us.
ace king,
Yep.
aces and kings.
Why has he decided to show Daz
I don't
Hickman
know.
that hand? To show that he's capable of calling before the flop with a biggie? Or
Well, no, Yeah, he did do that, but the way he's played the pot, I wouldn't have shown that at all.
It was a little too tricky to give away that information, wasn't it?
He's letting them know how he's played a big hand.
Yeah.
Darren has escaped, his buddies will tell him. Last time I had the aces.
I don't know what Don's up about. The funny thing about Don is he's very funny, but half the time nobody can understand him. Got a great sense of humor, though.
And Don's picked up another ace. He's flat called a big blind. Let's see what Liam picks up. Oh, pair of baked beans.
Yeah, this is Liam's chance.
Raise.
Has Don called here to make a re-raise? He knows what Liam's capable of.
Yeah, of course he does.
Did not learn anything last 2 hands back.
Yeah, what he's saying is he don't believe you're going to have 3 monsters on the spin.
Can't throw away these ones.
Can you not? No, it's tough for me too.
Well, it's the first bit of speech play we've had. It's between the two Irishmen. Do you think they understand what each other's saying?
I don't know, but it is interesting because
one of us have on the chips. And
you know, it looks like here, Jesse, that Don's going to try and make a play on him here, and he might be unlucky because he's got a big hand.
Yeah, go on.
wow, I think it's a great fault. It's not the first time that Liam has raised from a limped pot in the big blind tonight. He did it once before. He had ace king though and didn't show him.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
I mean,
Don knows he's capable of anything, Jesse. So I think he was seriously thinking about making a move on him then.
well, 10 World Series of poker bracelets. He can give his opinion. Ken Philhelmuth.
All right, we're down to 2 semifinals. What do you want to do? Well, first of all, you're going to be bringing your chips with you. So the final 3 players are going to advance. 3 aren't. So to me, you have to be one of those final 3 players, even if you're a bit short. So I would play a very patient game. I would play a bit of a waiting game. Now, if you have a bunch of passive players, then you can be aggressive and pick up a lot of small pots. But if it's a bunch of super aggressive players, they may force you to play a big pot when you have a big hand, which is good, or you may have to just sit on your hands for a while and come in with a short stack. That's okay. You have to play a passive style against a bunch of super aggressive guys. You have to make sure you make the final 3 or you lose with a big hand.
King 4 fold Don. What's Liam got? He's got a nice hand, ace queen.
It's funny. He's actually. I'm trying to remember which hands Liam has turned over. I don't think he's reached the river yet tonight, but we know that he's picked up some big cards.
He's had a good old share of his cards, hasn't he? But he has raised with medium cards as well. So I think he just likes. Whoa! I thought he was going to make him.
I did.
I think Liam just likes to be involved, don't he? I like the way he's playing.
13 if you wish to call.
He could be in trouble where she might be picking him out here. Well, she's got to be with her cards.
Call.
She's called here. Yeah, she's suspicious. Pippa has played quite a bit with Liam. Obviously, they have a history, but re-raising before the flop wouldn't have worked for her. What can she do? She's out-flopped him. Now, is she better off check raising or fast playing?
I don't know. If she bets, what's he?
20,000.
It's strong because the lead out on the flop usually looks very weak, doesn't it?
He must be thinking, what's going on here? Thing is, if he goes all in, I don't think she can call because she's got to put him on. She must put him on a pair.
You know, for all the activity Liam's had tonight, this is the first time he's had a serious decision after the flop. It's a bit different here.
I don't think he'd be making any sort of moves like that myself. Oh, she's holding a donkey now.
Well, Liam's staring down at his stack. What is that answering here?
He's probably praying.
He has gotten very rigid all of a sudden, hasn't he? Is he breathing?
He's entitled to turn over a couple of big hands, Liam, the way he's been playing. You know, like I said with the ace-jack earlier, he can afford again to turn these over and say, you know.
I mean, it's what must be going through Liam's head is she doesn't think I have such. Oh, well, that's a good pass, isn't it? She was trying to hook him there, wasn't
but
she?
they're all thinking that Liam's raising with garbage, and he ain't really. So that's why I'd half be inclined to turn him over.
Pippa Flanders, a little bit of stop and go with Liam Flood. This is my blind you're raising, Liam, she says. And looking at the leaderboard, Pippa Flanders, this, if I'm not mistaken, this is the biggest lead anyone's opened up since the game started.
Yeah, it took her about 45, 50,000 clear now, and sent Liam to the bottom of the pile.
Wow. And the chips so evenly balanced here, although Pippa is the leader, but evenly balanced in that even at this 5 and 10,000 level, no one's in mortal danger, and no one is so comfortable that they can just wage war.
Yeah, and I like the 5-10. It's a good level, Jesse. It depends how they start out. Do they come out with a 30,000?
Call.
When they start raising, or you know, because it sets precedents for everyone.
Pippa's chosen to limp on the button here with the Jack-9. There will be Flood's big blind, although Fagan in the middle here for 5. He wants to see her flop. And, wow.
Oh, we'll like this, won't he?
Yeah.
Where is all in?
It's very uncivil.
Sorry?
What do you think about that? That isn't very civil. No.
It's an overbet by Liam in some ways, but
Can I change my mind then?
No, you have to stick by your mind. Never change your mind. You sound like a woman when you change your mind.
All right.
But I'll change my mind. I don't want to see a flop now.
Okay.
I don't know what he's going to make of all that, Jesse.
I don't either. I can understand full well why Liam did it there. It was going to make things very easy. If he had made it 30 and she had come all in, the last thing he wanted to do was sit there and stew. I mean...
Thing is, though, you'd want a bit of revenge there, wouldn't you? I'll be wanting to try and get some chips back off of her.
I was nearly going to give you another 5,000.
I was going to take it.
Are you going to raise me, like?
You have to wait and see.
Action on the chip leader here.
Well, we've played 50 hands now.
6-3 offset.
Don't know if we played this many last week even.
Yeah, I think it did creep up a bit, didn't it? But
Pass. Pass.
Liam is. Oh, look at this for the sell.
Raise to 20.
Raise to 20 in total.
oh, he's going to get action here.
Yeah.
This will probably be all in. We see him last time with the 10s. He don't mess about.
What you got there for me?
Do you remember you said that to me? I think last time it was Lascelles said, "How many have you got, please?" He said, "How many you got over there?"
Mate. And I'd say Lascelles gone well to just tickle this.
69.
It's going to give him a chance
74.
to get off it, but
I'm all in.
to be fair, it's
All
going
in?
to be very hard for him to fold. Isn't it blind on blind? Or
I've got to call you.
Oh, mate, I wouldn't have thought that, but...
On the backs.
Good luck. One pair.
Higher am I? Yeah.
Darren Hickman taking a big sigh of relief here that he's not in a race, but in a domination situation, pair versus the under pair, and Lell Barrow all in, needing an 8. Now needing a 9.
Still dangerous.
3 10s for Daz on the flop.
When these cards come out, they stick together and all, Jesse. It's so scary.
Well, there's more 8s in the deck. I mean, more 9s in the deck than 8s anyway. 4 9s alone.
He's already walking.
Yeah, he doesn't feel good about the river. This could be a double clutch, though.
Oh.
4
Cheerio,
10.
chaps.
Just to make sure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm not sure.
I'm not really sure.
Oh, sorry.
Play then.
Okay.
Gave it a nice run there, Lell, but maybe just a victim of being card dead at the end there, Ian.
Well, he sat there for ages, didn't he?
me.
Not playing a hand, and he picked up
love
the
my
eights.
chips,
But
don't you?
it's not a fantastic hand, is it?
Has he got more chips in?
Yeah, he's got a
Big news
total and
for Bridge North.
you've got
Right, okay, that's fine.
Looking at the leaderboard, Darren Hickman from the Wolverhampton area. Now the chip leader with Pippa Flanders, and it looks a lot like two Irishmen playing for one open spot.
Yeah, they are. And he's the fourth different person to have the chip lead on this table now.
Four here. This is the real bubble of this PartyPoker.com European Open third.
Yeah, this is when it slows down a bit, Jesse. You know, it's a lot more cat and mouse now.
And even though the two short stacks are the two Irishmen, there's enough play in it, so it's hard to say, isn't it? Hard to say.
pass.
Liam for the button.
Pass.
I think if it's going to come down to whoever, you know, who plays the most pots to nick the bit of blinds out there, you've got to favour Liam the way the game's gone so far.
Yeah.
30.
But this guy Hickman, he ain't too worried
Very
about
much
getting him
call.
in, is he?
Well,
30.
I think he's probably
That's what the lady said.
played equal amount of pots as Liam.
30,000 more to Pippa, and she does have that wide-eyed doe look on her face that can sometimes be followed by a thumpity thump. Oh my. Gosh, what he call here? Psychologically, it's a... he would be very inclined not to play a big pot here, wouldn't he?
Well, you'd think so, wouldn't you? But you've seen, well, none of these guys have seen her cards at the table, so they don't know what we know, Jesse. So I think he'd be fancy. He don't want to re-raise here.
Just looking at...
I'll call.
Yeah, she decided to call it. This pot's big right now. I mean, looking at these percentages, you know, 9-10, very good shape against the ace-8. Not now. Hickman's flopped second pair and checked. Checking with the intention of what?
Nothing, getting a free card, I should think.
I'll bet, please.
He's got to know, Jesse, that, you know, she ain't got ace-king here. 100 mile an hour, she'd have re-raised. He could be putting her on king-jack or king-queen, I don't know, but...
He might be doing a Scott Fenton and trying to get the chips in first. This is all about how's your nerve, kid, really.
Yeah, well, he can put her on a king, Jesse, but you know, he can also put her on a bluff. I mean, they all know how she's played her heats.
Darren must be thinking to himself, look, I made a raise before the flop.
You won't bluff me now, would you?
Oh my.
Now to me, he's passing now.
You know, Ian, at the end of the day, this game really tests your character, doesn't it? It's
He's got to be thinking if I
one
get them all in here and win, he's going to have a massive chip lead.
Yeah. It's hard for him. The thing is that if he does raise all in, I mean, she can only call with a hand that has him slaughtered.
Well, she can't call anything. If he makes a bet, she can't call. But I don't think he's going to. I think he's going to pass, Jesse.
What? At the end of the day, it's might just be better to swallow a lump now. That's what he's done. He has passed, and that was just sheer can you take it from Pippa Flanders.
Good play.
It was, oh, wow.
So you want to make a big bluff? It's not just betting every single hand. It's not just recklessness that creates a bluff. What creates a great bluff is setting it up. And table image has something to do with that. So you wait, you play a good patient game, you wait until the time is right, until your opponents are weak, and then you make that great bluff. But you don't give it away, you don't start talking, you don't do anything differently than when you bet your strong hands. You want to put in the chips the same way you did the last time your opponent saw you with a strong hand. You want to make the same comments, you want to put your head in your hands the same way, make sure everything matches. Because when you act the same way you did with a strong hand, the instincts of the other players say he has a strong hand. A bluff takes timing.
Have you ever dreamt of playing poker with the big boys in Las Vegas? Well, here's your chance. You could win a holiday for two, including flights, accommodation, and £500 spending money. All you have to do is answer this question. Who won the World Series of Poker in 2006? A. Phil Hellmuth, B. Jamie Gold, or C. Gus Hansen? You can enter by going to www.5.tv/poker. Entrants must be over 18. Competition closes at midnight on the 22nd of May. We're down to 4 in this semifinal. The top 3 players will be taking their chips on to the final table. Join us after the break to see who makes it. I'm Roxanne Ciordia, and this is the PartyPoker.com European Open 3. The final is fast approaching, and with only 3 seats remaining, the pressure's mounting. We go back over to our commentators.
You know, I think the question that was asked was, how bad do you want to make the final table?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a reasonable question that most people would have answered the way Darren Hickman answered. You know, like you say, he's got plenty of chips to win this tournament right now. I mean,
Pass.
Yes, what's he got? 158,000.
Pass.
She'll be feeling.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely brilliant now. 237.
I mean, it's so hard to. But I mean, the way Pippa plays, which is obviously fantastic, sooner or later she is liable to trip up and get caught, isn't she? I mean, that's the idea. Or
someone's going to, aren't they? If it goes on long enough, there's the leaderboard.
And Hickman still in second place. A good 50,000 more than either Liam or Don.
Yeah, I never got the aces all day.
Sorry?
I never got the aces all day.
I'm very silent.
2 of them?
I never did.
I ain't had them since Pancake Day.
All right. When was that? That the day after Whit Sunday?
You know,
Pass.
Baz Hickman was so close to being out of this tournament.
Pass.
Oh wow, this is good for Don.
Does he limp into his blind because he knows he's raised it a few times? Yeah, there you go. I think this is definite. Oh, and he's got a pair of 9s. Right. I'll see him putting a raise in here, and Don will be all in.
Oh, yeah. This is looking very much right now like the last hand of this semifinal.
Okay.
I'm not sure who covers who, but there's not more than 5,000 in it. So Don Fagan and Liam Flood playing for 1 seat, and one person who's very happy about this is Darren Hickman, because he's feeling very good now about his decision to cede a pot to Pippa Flanders, and this is pretty much just who's luckiest, I guess.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
Don has played this to get on. It's
going to be.
Wow.
This looks a lot like the end of Don Fagan.
Yeah, okay.
He needs runner to make a straight.
I think we got our final, Jesse.
Yeah.
Very close.
3 9s for Liam Flood.
Yeah, definitely got our final now.
And ace. Just a bit of pain on the river. They're going to have to count it down. Fagan may have a chip or two, but it's not going to matter. Not only in Miracles on 34th Street.
Okay.
Countdown showing that Liam Flood covers Don Fagan by an inch, and he'll go out in 4th. Take 10,000 for his efforts. But
good luck, son.
Wow, 3 strong players to go through to that. What a final table we've got on tap.
I'm really looking forward to this, Jesse. It's fantastic.
The final table is now full. Let's take a look at the chip stacks for each individual player.
Starting chips, of course, players taking their chips forward from the semifinal, and John McGill will have his work cut out for him, only 59,000. Daz Hickman on 158. The others will have about an even stack between Liam Flood, Scott Fenton, and Pippa Flanders, all in the 200,000 range. And the chip leader, Nick Perso, with 326,000 at the get-go.
how the plot thickens. What a nice, tasty brew that was. And for later on, congratulations to the three of you for getting through that very tough semifinal. Now, Darren Hickman, first of all, it was looking very edgy there in the beginning, wasn't it?
Yeah, he got off to a bad start and then got lucky. The poker got small on me and gave me a good flop.
And after you finally got those chips and there was 4 left, was that part of the influence of laying down that hand at the end that you thought, I've got enough for the final table here?
Yeah, absolutely. That was going through my mind. And I thought Pippa might be thinking the same and she would only bet with a big hand. I may be wrong, but that's
Liam,
what
you must be well pleased to get through. You were really taking the game to the rest of the table at the beginning.
Yeah, I thought I played well, Jesse. I'm absolutely thrilled to get to the final.
Something we haven't usually seen from you before. You're laying down the hand to the re-raise.
Yes, indeed, yeah. Well, I got a few lessons last week from Porrick, so I'm okay.
And the Irishman threw it. Of course, Pippa, you are the chip leader from these three, and very big stack going into the final table. Everything was about that first hand at the beginning, wasn't it, against Ian Cox?
Yes. Well, it was actually, you might have seen that I wasn't going to call because I was on the small blind, and I suddenly thought that I went to actually throw it, and then I thought, no, I'll just see what'll happen. So I saw, and it was wonderful, but not for Ian, unfortunately.
It felt like up there that, I don't know if the table was scared of you, but we certainly were in the commentary box. Do you feel like your table image has got the rest of the table on the edge of their seats for the final? Or?
I don't think so. To be perfectly honest, I'm probably more frightened of everybody else than they are of me. Scared of you.
Well, the two of you have a nice relationship. I think this is the 3rd time you've played. Liam, you knocked out Pippa the first time. Pippa, you knocked out Liam the second time. This is the rubber match, isn't it?
It is indeed,
yes.
Yeah. We're looking forward to it.
We've got a lot to look forward to, of course. 3 players last week that came through. We are really looking forward to this final table. Cannot wait.
The semifinals are over. Each player now takes their chips on to the final table. Next time, our 6 remaining pros will gather around the felt, and with hearts pounding, they'll decide to check, raise, bet, or fold. It's all to play for with over $300,000 being dished out. Don't miss the PartyPoker.com European Open 3 final.